Hello, friends. Robert Bevan here, author of the Caverns Creatures series of comedy, fantasy novels, and short stories. With me is Sam West, and today we're talking about the spell Phantasmal Killer.
I'm positive. I've gone through the tapes. I'm on your right, which is your left in the video because it's a mirror. So I pointed the right way that time. Just saying.
Oh yeah,
Anyway,
I think I did eventually. We'll figure this out.
one day we'll both
We're
point in the right direction and it'll be a miracle.
we're only 200 some videos in.
It's fine. We're very professional about this.
Yeah.
This is Phantasmal Killer, a 4th level wizard, hexblade, and genie spell. So it also fits into 2 warlock subclasses. It takes an action to cast, got 120-foot range, verbal somatic components, concentration, duration, 1 minute. You tap into the nightmares of a creature you see within range, an illusory manifestation of its deepest fears visible only to that creature. It makes a whiz save. If it fails the whiz save, it's frightened. At the end of each of its turns, it makes another whiz save and takes 40-10 if it fails. Otherwise, the effect ends. That's it. That's all she wrote. You can upcast everyone as D10 damage around. Don't do that. Because Phantasmal Killer. Well, let's see, Bob. What do you think about Phantasmal Killer?
Not a fan. I mean, I think maybe the only fear-based spell I like is fear itself.
I think Cause Fear at
That's,
first level is pretty solid, but yeah, I'm inclined to
I
agree
don't remember
otherwise.
that.
It's a one-person fear basically is what Cause Fear is at first level.
It's like FDR said.
The only thing to fear is fear.
Yeah, I mean, the frightened condition doesn't really do it for me. I like fear because they drop all their crap and you get to pick it up. And it just feels more. I mean, this has got a little damage maybe tacked onto it, but they have to fail a saving throw for this to be effective at all, and then another saving throw to take damage. And if they pass, if they
Either
fail
of
the
them.
first one, all right, but if they pass the second one, they don't take any damage, and the spell's over. No,
The
thank you.
spell's awful. Like, for reference, I'm pulling up Cause Fear right now because it's similar in that you pick a thing and you frighten the thing, right? And this is a first level spell, and all this one does is the target makes a whiz save or is frightened for you until the spell ends, and it gets to repeat that save at the end of each of its turns. The only difference between a first level cast of Cause Fear and a 4th level cast of Phantasmal Killer is that on each repeated save, it can take 40-10 psychic damage. That is not worth the 4th level spell slot, especially whenever you need it to fail 2 saves to take any instance of damage. No, thank you. I don't want anywhere near that. That's already Saber dies are really polarizing. Already they're really like, oh, if they succeed, it does nothing. This needs to fail twice for it to feel like it does something worth it. And
so I mean, without the damage, fear and Phantasmal Killer are essentially the same.
Cause Fear, the first level spell,
Cause Fear,
and
right,
Phantasmal
right.
Image or Phantasmal Killer, the 4th level spell, are exactly the same.
All right, so for a 4th level spell, you're going for the possibility of 4d10 damage. No.
Nope, that's not it. This is not it. Like, how much damage do you think this needs to do to justify the cast? It's got to be more than 40-10, right? Like, even if this happens once.
I mean, 4th level spell. What are we basing it on the fireball metric? What is that?
We're basing it on a fireball. We're nowhere in the same ballpark.
I guess. All right. If the fear or frightened condition matters at all to you, I guess that's something. So, all right. Well, what is it compared to fireball? And we'll see what kind of difference we're talking about.
So if we look at a 3rd level area effect spell, which means it hits more than one thing. Let me pull up the good old-fashioned dice calculator. 8d6 on average is doing a grand total of 28 damage. 4d10, way closer to 20. In fact, it is 22, which means a fireball at its base level is doing more damage to more things instantaneously with a guaranteed minimum damage happening off of one save. For a 4th level spell slot, a slot higher than that, you're doing less damage to one thing less frequently.
Oh, and you're going on a 3rd level fireball?
Yeah, well, if we bump it up,
I was going to upcast it.
Let's upcast it. Then we're doing 31.5 damage. Now we're 10 damage under for the first instance tick of damage on the 40-10. Now, let's say, generously, 2 creatures get hit by the fireball. Then we're looking at a glorious 62 damage, which means you would need 3 procs of 40-10 damage on this ability for it to match a 4th level fireball hitting 2 things.
All right. Well, yeah. I
4
mean,
consecutive failed saves.
Fireballs, yes, they're area of effect, and that matters. But you know, I'm giving Phantasmal Killer as much benefit of the doubt as I can here, and let's
Okay.
just say you're attacking one creature for some reason with this fireball.
Okay. According to the Dungeon Master's Guide rules for what the damage for a 4th level spell with no other text should be for a homebrew spell, it should be dealing 10d8 damage.
Okay, and it is not.
It's not.
No. This is what, half of that.
Yes, a little bit over half of this. Half of that.
All right, so how awesome is the frightened condition to make up
Not
for
that
this?
awesome.
No, because this frightened, I mean, fear specifically states that they drop all their stuff.
Yes.
The frightened condition does not.
Fear also tells them they have to spend their action doing something. They have to spend their action dashing away, if able, from the creature if they can see it, right? So fear forces them to do something. All the frightened condition does is impose disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls while it can see the thing, and it can't willingly move closer to the thing, which means if it's already within 5 feet of you, it can still kind of whack you. It still isn't imposed or any means, way, shape, or form have to move. It isn't forced to take any other actions. It just has disadvantage on the attack rolls.
No, that does not seem worth it. And almost, I mean, I guess there's probably a hypothetical circumstance somewhere, but I'm not thinking of it.
Yeah, same. There's also a little weird thing that I'm always curious about. So the target makes a wisdom save or becomes frightened for the duration. You're hypothetically creating an illusory manifestation of its deepest fears that's only visible to it. My question is this: is it afraid of you? Is it afraid of this illusory thing? Where is that illusory thing? Can this thing just not move? Like, I feel like I've written about this a little bit. Like,
Yeah, I mean, if it at least gave you some kind of insight onto what that illusory thing was.
Yeah.
But you don't get to see it. It's only visible to them. So
yeah. It also doesn't give you like any rules for how it works.
Clowns or something, then you could keep that in the bank and come back dressed as a clown the next day.
Yeah, like it can't even really be used to gather information about your target, right? Like you can't even use it to fish for what is the Lich's greatest fear, and then go and find that MacGuffin, right? Like it can't be used in any creative means that way. It just goes, only it knows what it's afraid of, and some illusory thing around it is frightening it. I don't think it's you that's frightening it. It's the illusory thing, right?
Well, no, it's the illusory thing, which I guess is centered on you because it, the frightened condition means it can't move towards you.
Towards the source of the fear, which is I guess that's you.
I don't know.
Right?
Towards the source of the fear. Well, no, I mean, now, does it say anything about where you get to project this illusory thing? No.
It has a range of out of 20 feet, but that's in reference to the target, right? You tap into a creature within range.
Yeah, then no.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that's supposed to work. I would probably rule in favor of the Phantasmal Killer caster every single time, as far as like, can we have it like a surrounding nightmare around them that makes them terrified and unable to move? I'd be like, yes, because this spell is bad, and that is not even good enough to put this on the radar still. So absolutely, you can have that upside. That's kind of effect.
Yeah, but that's kind of intrinsically not included in the spell. I mean, yeah, if you want to
it's not.
alter the spell, then fine. But no, I just say you should probably just cast something else.
Yeah, it's just the frightened condition on its own doesn't actually do that much. It prevents things from moving closer to the source of the fear, and again, I'm not entirely sure where that is in this instance. And it has disadvantage while it can see it. And again, can it hypothetically, if it is some illusory duplicate, can it just cover its eyes and shoot you with blind sight? Does that work? If you cast a Phantasmal Killer on a literal blind creature, does it just have no effect?
Probably.
Yeah, I would say that too.
Well, no, I don't know though, because I mean, the illusion, since nobody else can see it, it could just be a figment of their imagination.
But very crucially, the mechanics of the frightened condition, it has disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls while the source of its fear is within line of sight. And line of sight.
Then okay, then no.
like the more you run this rules as written, the worse it gets. And
it
I don't want
starts
to have
pretty
to run
bad.
this not rules as written.
No,
I don't
I
know.
think ultimately none of this matters because, just don't cast this spell.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. At minimum, needing two, like I'm already Saber dies are something that I'd say are powerful because they are, but I don't like casting them because I hate when my spells don't do anything.
Right.
And I need this to do 2 saves before it does less damage than it should.
Yeah.
Nope, I'm out.
And the frightened condition just simply isn't worth it. I mean,
Nope. You can get it cheaper.
yeah. I mean, all right? Fear and Phantasmal Killer, or I'm sorry, cause fear and Phantasmal Killer. Is the save different?
It's always safe.
Yeah. All right. Forget it.
Additionally, Cause Fear lets when you upcast it, like if you cast Cause Fear as a 4th level spell, you can target 4 things to fear. It has an upcast. So you can just frighten 4 creatures. And like that's not fear by any stretch of the imagination. Fear is a giant AoE. It makes them drop things, it makes them run away. Like that's obviously better to cast fear than it is that. But at least this is the flexibility of being a 1st level and a 4th level spell. Phantasmal Killer is just only 1 creature can ever be affected by it. It will very like occasionally do 40-10 damage. If you're trying to get 5-10 or 8-10 damage out of it, you are really pushing your luck. Like that is 3 consecutive saves that it fails seems really far-fetched to me. I don't
And
see it.
all right, the only way I can see this being useful is if you need to buy your party some time from something huge that's coming toward it.
That you also need to, but you intend to eventually kill it, right?
Yeah.
So you're saying like I'm gonna stall it, do some damage to it, so eventually we have the time to prep and then wail on it, right?
Yeah.
Because otherwise, Cause Fear is just better than that, right?
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I'm at a loss. I'm struggling here, grasping at straws. All right. I think we're done.
Yeah, there's not a ton to touch on other than this is a bad spell that probably you shouldn't take.
Got a rating?
I think this is. It's hard to give things ones, but this is probably a 1. It's really
It's
bad.
not hard for me.
I don't see any use cases for it. I don't see people getting much out of it. If you are able to get this up for like 4 rounds, I can only imagine these are the grindiest, like slowest, most miserable combats where you're just like, all we're doing is putting a bunch of damage on the 600 hit point thing right now, and for some reason I'm approaching that with a Phantasmal Killer over any other powerful concentration. This is your concentration.
All right. I mean, how are you having trouble giving this a 1?
Yeah, this has to be a 1. This is awful.
Yeah. I'm not going to lose any sleep over this. It's a 1. All right.
Bob's like, get it out of here. This is garbage. I don't want to talk about this anymore.
All right, that was Phantasmal Killer. Thank you, Sam, and thank you everyone for joining us. This is definitely comment worthy. If you disagree, we would love to hear it. But yeah, until next time, bye-bye. Thank you for watching. If you found this helpful, informative, or entertaining, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button below. You needn't smash it. A gentle tap will suffice. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to the channel. And make sure you check out the links in the description where you'll find my Caverns Creatures series of comedy fantasy novels, Sam's full review of the spell, and other fun things.